Hello and welcome into our Friday night episode of Between the Hedges. Thank y'all for tuning in, whether it's now or in the future. What's going on tonight, guys?
What's up?
What is up?
We doing all right tonight? Little sleepy, little
Yeah,
we
you're a little
dragging?
behind there. Lack of sleep, Daddy Ice?
Yeah. Yeah. Very much so.
As expected, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna try to bring the energy, but we'll make it work.
We're operating on fumes, are we?
That is okay.
Oh.
What about
he's
you,
frozen,
Papa
I think.
D?
Doing good. Got through another week.
Very much so.
I think I'm probably the healthiest one of us because I'm rested and I'm not battling crap like you have been this week.
Yeah.
And just ready for another good weekend of college football.
Yes, sir. I've had my
even though this in the SEC, a lot of the teams are playing their out of conference games this week. It's still football, and there's still a decent enough amount of games that are definitely worth watching.
Yeah, I agree. I've heard a lot of people, and how dare you say this because we only get so many of these Saturdays, but I've heard a lot of people say, oh, this weekend's probably the worst weekend of all the weekends. And I'm like, and in April, you're going to be dying for, some NC State, Florida State like we have tonight, which is not a great game by all stretch of the imagination. But in April, you're going to be like, oh, I wish I had Rutgers, Ohio State. I wish I had Georgia, Charlotte to just watch Georgia absolutely massacre them, and you just gotta treasure every weekend. If you're talking bad about any weekend, then you don't truly love the sport as much as you may say. So I'm not disappointed by the slate. Yeah, it's a lot of poo-poo, but we're moving away from this as
but
it
it's
is.
better. It's better than nothing. Put it that way. That's the whole point.
It is better than nothing.
Some football is better than no football.
Amen.
That's very true. I'd much rather have these games than no games.
Yep, and we will in just a few short months be at that reality again. So let's enjoy it. Let's soak it up.
Sadly.
So we've had a little time to process through that Georgia-Texas game throughout the week. And there's been some interesting going-ons with, like, I don't know, Lane Kiffin can't make up his mind where he wants to be. And everybody and their brother wants him as their coach. So I did hear that. Yeah.
They would love him, but he's gonna tell him, no thanks.
Yeah, I don't know that I would take that job either. But
he would take a massive pay cut going there.
But one of the interesting things that I saw, I guess, is being reported now with Lane. I think they've come to a decision, but they're not going to clue anybody in on it or release it until the day after their
weekend.
Mississippi State game next week. Next Saturday. I think they play on Friday like Georgia does.
Yep.
And then Saturday they're going to come out and announce to the world what the decision is. I'm like, you can't just go ahead and tell us.
I mean,
come on. If you already know where you're going, what's going to happen, if he's staying, if he's even leaving, whatever. I mean, if it's already been decided.
Staying.
Honestly,
I think he's staying. They're just dragging it on.
But I will say, I will say this: if there is one of those teams that's going to maybe prime away, I think it might be LSU.
Well, and
maybe
They
I think
could.
LSU has the upper hand between him picking between Florida and LSU if he wants to leave. And it's kind of interesting that Tiger Mike's not on here with us tonight since he's traveling. But it would have been interesting to get his take on what he has heard out there in Tigerland about the
Think he's
possibility.
think he's hearing the same things that we are, which I'm kind of with you guys. I think I feel like he stays. Like, why go to Florida? Ole Miss is a better job and a better program than Florida right now. Why go to LSU really either? Because same thing.
This is what I think the answer to that question.
The only thing that pries him away, and I think Ole Miss has told him, whatever you get will match. So it's not going to be money.
No, I don't think it's going to be the money. What the main difference to me in the jobs is with Ole Miss, you don't have a hotbed of recruiting home base that you pull from.
That's it right there.
For high school, he's dependent on portal, which, he's shown himself to do pretty dang well picking these guys out of the portal. But that's how he has to 100% live, because there's not enough big time talent in Mississippi to feed Ole Miss and Mississippi State and Memphis and all the big teams that are around there. Whereas if you're at LSU, for instance, I mean, you can throw a rock outside of the stadium and you've got D1 players all crawling all over the place out there that they want nothing more than come play for the Tigers.
That's true.
So to me, that's one little that's a difference between the jobs that may sway him, that it may be a little bit easier, quote unquote, job because of the recruiting aspect of it.
But Florida's that way
but
too.
They also don't have a 6'6", 300 and something pound 8th grader looking at them already.
I know. Did y'all see that kid that Georgia had on the visit for the Texas game?
6'6" and 340 pounds in 8th grade.
You got to back off your mic, somebody. It sounds funny.
Sorry. What the heck are they feeding these kids?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's unusual. And the thing about it is, yeah, he's big, but if he keeps growing, he's going to be too big to play football.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, there's a limit, because you still got to be able to move when you're out on the football field, no matter where you're playing. Which, if he's that big, you're looking at one either offensive line or defensive line. I'm assuming. So even in those positions, these days you got to be athletic enough to move and get to your block or shed a block or whatever your assignment is. So, but yeah, I saw that kid too. It's crazy.
But to go back to your point about LSU versus Florida, Florida's got per capita probably more D1 caliber players coming out of that state. So that would be a hotbed too for that.
Yeah, but you're also competing against Florida State, Miami, UCF, USF, blah blah blah.
Georgia,
and you in Louisiana, LSU's king.
They are, but it's so national now though. Like Georgia's been poaching players from all over the country ever since Kirby got there.
Well, that's the difference. Kirby's the difference. Before Kirby, we might have gotten a kid out of state from time to time, really good blue chip kid, but it didn't happen as regularly as it does now.
Right. And I think Lane could do that at Florida or LSU.
Probably. So
he's
got an interesting decision to make for himself. It's just a matter of what, I guess where his happiness is going to be. If he's happy and excited to continue building what he's building at Ole Miss, and they're going to pay him whatever he wants, basically to stay.
Yeah.
It might be best to stay. If he wants another challenge to go to LSU or Florida or Penn State or, whatever the case may be, and rebuild, like a brand name program, he might want to go for it. Yeah, I guess we got to wait a week and find out.
Yeah. But I thought that was interesting too, that they're like, basically everybody knows, at least between Ole Miss and
Lane.
Kiffin,
Yeah.
and then, but the rest of us don't. But we all just keep.
We'll clue you in next Saturday. Tune in.
It's like it was like, it reminds me of the LeBron James Heat
decision.
Decision.
It's like, oh, let's all get in the arena.
I'm going to take my talents to
and
nowhere.
Just
Baton Rouge.
Right. Yeah. It's just going to be, I don't know. It just makes it feel weird, kind of.
Yeah.
Just either announce it or, okay, don't, and just let it happen naturally,
Yeah. I don't understand holding on to that news.
It's probably just to help keep, Ole Miss, relevant, because nobody's talked about Ole Miss more since all this started. So, and they're really only being talked about because of Lane. So, and they're having a great year. They're going to make the playoff. They're pretty much a sure thing.
Well, they're having really good back-to-back years.
Yeah.
Last year they should have been in the playoff, if you ask me.
It's that Kentucky game.
Yeah, you can't lose to freaking Kentucky, man.
And them blue.
Well, this year they didn't. This year
Nope.
they didn't.
They took care of them this year.
They did not lose to Kentucky this year.
They
now
made
they just
sure
got to
that
finish.
didn't happen.
Finish. Who are they playing? Are they off this week or are they playing this week?
Yeah, they're off
this week.
And then they got Mississippi State next week to finish up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So as long as they boat race Mississippi State, they're sitting pretty. I think whether they make the SEC championship game or not,
they just have to win. They don't even have to boat race them. They're in.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what I mean.
They should win because they don't want to be one of those cluster of 10-2 teams that could possibly happen. That's been talked about a lot this week too. The disaster SEC scenario where there could be 6 SEC teams 10-2, and then what do you do?
Take all of them. Take all of them.
Well, that would be our answer.
Screw everybody else.
Well, we're probably
there's nobody else really.
Yeah, it's looking very likely that we'll get 5 now, not just 4. I mean, go look at the odds.
Well, if ACC blows up, they won't have one
further.
either.
Blows up further, you mean?
Which they are.
Yeah, I mean they're almost close to the Earth's core at this point, so might as well not even put them in there at all.
All right.
That's and the Big 12's pushing that way if Texas Tech doesn't run the table. So,
which I don't think they would or will.
I think they will.
I don't think Texas Tech will.
Do you think they're going to get beat again this year?
Mm-hmm.
What,
in the
BYU?
Big 12? Who's going to beat them this year?
Who do they have left?
I'll tell you.
I would think somebody would say they're going to get beat again would know who they're playing.
You
just think that they're bound to lose. Is that what you're saying? Like,
yeah, bound to lose.
Well,
it's time.
Yeah, I mean, unless they lose the Big 12 championship, which the committee said they're not going to, punish teams for losing their championship game.
Yeah, I'll believe that.
They did that to Georgia. They were the number
remember,
one
it's a
seed
different
coming
committee in. Remember, it's a different committee every year.
No,
they didn't treat Georgia right. It don't matter.
They didn't, but
so they should do the same thing to these other teams. If you lose, tough luck.
I mean,
At
not
that point,
exactly.
you should get lucky to get in. At that point, regardless of, I would understand if like you're in the top 4. That's understandable. If you lose, you should be able to get in. But 5 through 12, nah.
So they have West
The only
Virginia
game they
next
have,
week,
yeah, that's
and
their
then they
last
have the
game.
Big 12 championship game. So are you taking West Virginia, Utah, or BYU to beat them again?
If it's not West Virginia, it's going to be BYU.
Well, we saw them take care of BYU. You know,
You think BYU is going to take 2 L's from them?
possibly. I mean, I didn't
Just
see a
that.
lot out of BYU.
Do you
The only
did you
thing that'll
think
be better for BYU, I think, if they rematch, is it'll be a neutral site game. It won't be at Texas Tech. And that'll play
right?
a role. That'll play a role some.
That helps.
So, and also Georgia didn't let that happen with Alabama. We met them twice, but we won the bigger championship.
Yeah, but we were a great team, so I just don't know that BYU is a great team. I don't think there's a great team in the ACC or the Big 12.
They're not a great team, but I don't think they'll lose to Texas Tech again. They'll make sure of that.
We'll see.
But if West Virginia doesn't do it next week,
West Virginia
definitely.
sucks.
Hey,
It is at West Virginia.
Hey.
That's one thing.
hey, you got to play the game first.
You do. What do we say? Any given Saturday, but we say that about the SEC, really.
Well, you got to go. Texas Tech is number 5, Micah.
Yeah, for a reason. Because they're good.
But also they could have an Ole Miss moment.
I guess, yeah, they could. You're right.
They could be like, "Oh, we're so good, yay!" and then lose a
Well,
fluke
to be fair
game.
to Texas Tech, the only game they lost, they did not have their starting quarterback play in that game.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big factor in why they lost that game.
Probably the factor.
No. Still,
Otherwise, they'd probably be undefeated right now.
And people would be pushing for them to be higher than 5.
So, they would be higher than 5 if they were undefeated still.
Yeah, they would be over us right now. They would do that.
They're undefeated. So we ready to get into our slate of games this weekend, gentlemen?
Let's do it.
Sure.
There we go.
Go Tigers.
All right, we're doing 7 this week again. Starting out, of course, with 7-pack. Starting out, of course, with I see Matthew's got a grin on his face. What are you grinning about already?
Just start talking.
He's looking over all the picks. See, just to let the viewers know a little bit of the backside of this or whatever, the peek behind the curtain, so to speak, is everybody, the 3 guys all send their picks to me individually usually. And so none of them know who's picking who until it's revealed right now. So they're all seeing these picks for the very first time.
And you're supposed to not look at them until right before the show. And you're putting them together.
I don't. When I sit down, I'll do my picks first and fill it out with my picks first. And then I'll start filling in, everybody else's that have sent them to me. When you send them to me, I don't even open the text or the email or whatever it is until I've done mine. because I don't want it to influence me.
Yeah, we got to make sure of that.
Yeah, exactly.
But by the variation between you and I recently, that I think we're good. So,
so anyway, starting out, Georgia this week has a challenge before them facing mighty Charlotte. I don't even know what their mascot is. Have we heard what their mascot is? I don't think that's UNC Charlotte. It's not the same team.
It's the 49ers.
That's
what they
them,
are.
the 49ers.
Okay, I thought this was a different Charlotte. Okay.
If he stayed a couple more years, he would have played against Georgia.
Well, he did a couple of times when he was with Tech.
We're not gonna talk about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't want to talk about that.
No, he does not.
So UGA favored by a gaudy 44.5 points over Charlotte tomorrow afternoon in Athens. Me and Micah are going with Charlotte because I think we both are of the mind that Georgia usually doesn't cover when it comes to these huge spreads. In fact, I think the data suggests that if it's anything over like 35 or 38 or something, Kirby Smart is like 0 and forever covering those numbers.
Yeah, don't bury the lead or anything, but yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Hey, all they gotta do is be 40. It could be 45-0, and we're good.
That's right. It can be. But see, here's my take. The reason why I took Charlotte, one, like I just said, we never cover under Kirby. We never cover these large numbers ever.
Even with
Number
a team
two,
like this.
Number two, we have bigger games to worry about after this. I don't know how much our starting guys are going to actually play tomorrow. In fact, I hope that they don't play. I hope they don't play very much. I hope we're kicking enough tail that Kirby starts pulling reserves in the second quarter before halftime, even. And then people we don't even realize are on the team are playing the second half. That's what I hope happens, honestly. And with that taking place too, it's likely that Charlotte probably will get a score, maybe two, and then that makes it immensely more difficult to cover a 44.5 point line. So that was my thoughts on it.
Go ahead, Daddy.
Now it can't. If we, I'll tell you this. If I thought, oh man, we're going to be playing our number ones 3 out of the 4 quarters,
yeah,
that would be a different game. I would probably take us to cover because I don't think they have a prayer stopping our number one guys.
No. Go ahead, Daddy Ice. Since you think we'll cover,
he just thinks we're gonna kick the ever loving crap out of them, right? Yeah.
And you want Gunner in there in the third quarter?
No, we only need him in
midway he wants it to second. Be. He wants it to be 57-0 starting the second quarter.
Hell yeah.
That's now, what he wants.
What would that be? How many cans and what would that be?
And that's just
it doesn't even register because of who we're playing.
That's just straight ass.
Okay.
There's no other thing.
Our compadre Tiger Mike is picking Georgia to cover as well.
I think he's just kind of messing with us, though. I don't know. I mean, I could see us covering, but I'm kind of along the lines of Papa D. You know, Georgia's never covered a 40-point spread under Kirby. And I just think that continues because there's really no reason for it to end tomorrow. There's no like tangible thing that helps other than our ego. I think Kirby and his staff treat this game kind of like a scrimmage or a preseason NFL game, and they prioritize the health of the team, and then we just get some rhythm on offense
Anybody on our team that has been nicked up or scraped up or has a little injury or something, they're not going to play tomorrow. That's like CJ Allen, who left last week with an injury with his knee.
Put him on ice.
They're going to hold him back. So if they've got little bumps, this is a game. Okay, we got it. You
Take a
go.
seat.
You cheer us on from the sidelines, and we'll take care of business, and we'll worry about you next week. I honestly think we spend a lot of this week probably preparing for Tech.
I think so. Yeah, and that may be evident early because we may start slow and we may, let them hang around, which supports my take that we're not going to cover. Because I honestly want a bunch of the walk-ons playing tomorrow. That's really the ideal scenario. And I think I've even got a score prediction if y'all would like.
What's your score prediction?
I've got Georgia 45, Charlotte 7. So we're covering. We're covering at some point, and then we pull some guys, and we pull Gunner, and they get a late garbage touchdown. So
I have mine written down right here too for the contest that I do online. You know what mine was?
What?
45-3.
Why are we always like the same?
And I'm not lying. 45-3. That's exactly what I picked. And you said 45-7.
And I've had mine written down since this morning too, so there's no collaboration there.
No.
Dang.
That's wild.
What say you, Daddy Ice, since we're gonna roll them?
What do you think? Do a predict the score.
$56-7.
That's barely covered right there.
Hey, that's all you need.
But it is covering.
It is.
All he said is that they're going to cover.
All
right.
I hope you're right, but it really, like I said, it really doesn't mean anything if we do.
Well, it means me and you are wrong if we do.
Mm-hmm. It means you're wrong.
It means.
And it means him and Tiger Mike have a steep hill to climb too, though.
Yeah. So, I don't even know that there's really many things to say about keys to this game, blah blah blah. Any of that kind of stuff.
I would say
go out and play ball and stay healthy, please.
Health.
I'd say run some plays that we don't normally run and fix those during this game.
I don't think we're going to show anything.
Or just run the same play, pick 5 plays and just run those same all day long.
We might run for 400 yards.
You might be surprised. That might happen a good bit.
And be like, stop me, ho.
And they're not going to be able to. So
and they're not even with our third string. They're not. Because our third string is bigger than their first string.
Yeah. So moving on to what may be a little bit more competitive of a game. We got Oklahoma at home, favored by 7.5, welcoming the other SEC Tigers of Missouri to town.
The baby Tigers.
MIZ.
Who?
That's right.
So Mike is going with Missouri. Tiger Mike's going with Missouri. I guess Daddy Ice, they just haven't learned about Oklahoma yet, have they?
They're just retarded. Did they forget what happened last week?
No. I didn't.
You didn't?
Well, the difference between last week and this week, I will say, is Oklahoma was not favored last week.
Nope.
They were the underdog, so they were getting points. Besides the fact they upset Alabama, which you correctly picked as your upset pick of the week, by the way.
At Alabama, too, mind you.
Yep.
But see, this week they got to beat Missouri by more than 8 points. by at least 8 points, I should say.
Mm-hmm. Which they beat Alabama by how much?
2, right?
2 points. So my take on this game was the key matchup will be Oklahoma's rush defense, which is 4th in the nation currently, and going up against Missouri's top-ranked rushing attack with the nation's leading rusher, the Ahmad Hardy is his name, is their running back.
Who just ran all over. Who was it last week they played?
Mississippi State.
State, that's right.
He had 300 yards in one game and 3 tutties.
They ain't going to do that against Oklahoma.
I had 240 in one game, so that ain't nothing.
Okay. But he did it against a D1 college football team in the SEC. So
he's not going to do that against Oklahoma, though.
No, I don't think he will.
This game is not going to be competitive at all.
Okay, well, let me finish what I was saying, then you can say how it's not going to be competitive. So the key will be that it'll be that matchup: Oklahoma's defense versus Missouri's offense, obviously. But the other part of this is Missouri's getting their starting quarterback back tomorrow, so I expect them to have some life, show some fight, and historically. See, this matchup used to happen in the Big 12. So I dug into that a little bit too.
Oh boy, Micah did some research.
Historically, this game is a close game. And by close game, I mean less than 7 point deciding factor. What is the spread?
7.5.
7.
Oh, okay.
7 and a hook.
7 and a hook. So because of 7 and a hook, I'll take Missouri. And when Oklahoma gets the win by 4 or 5 or even 6 or 7, I'll be right. So that's it. That's all I have to say.
You just want those points.
I want the points.
Give me the points.
Oklahoma's wins even this year have been close, primarily in the big games like Alabama and such. So
I just think my thought on it was that Missouri just doesn't play near to be the same team on the road as they do at home, regardless of who they have playing and who they don't. They just don't play the same. So Oklahoma, that playing in Oklahoma has proven for several SEC teams, namely Alabama, to be a tough place to play. So I think it's going to be very, very hard for Missouri to do much of anything in that atmosphere against that defense. And even if it's, 17-3, 17-6, that's a cover.
Yeah. I just don't know if I see that type of a game. Also, the over-under's in the 50s, so that means both teams score 20.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
27-17.
Okay. Like I said, this is like the Georgia-Florida game. It's like every year it's less than one possession game,
Gotcha.
So that's what I'm counting on tomorrow.
Well, we shall see tomorrow how it goes.
Daddy Ice, why do you think they boat race them?
I don't think they boat race them, but I don't think it's going to be that close because it is in Oklahoma and it's a noon kickoff.
It is early.
So Missouri doesn't do well with noon kickoffs that often unless it's at home.
So you're just banking on the home field and the early kick for it to get away from Missouri.
I mean, Oklahoma's defense is just insane. That front seven, what are you going to do? How are you
Missouri's
going
really
to
good.
quarterback
protect?
may want to take another week off, come back
He
next week.
might, especially, they destroyed Ty Simpson last week.
They did.
Like,
And I think they're going to make Missouri's quarterback
if
very
he
very
comes back,
uncomfortable too.
if their number one QB comes back tomorrow, they're going to destroy that dude and make him run
It might.
and use whatever hurt.
It's possible.
Well, there we
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it is possible. Then moving along, we got Texas licking their wounds back at home in Austin. They're favored by 8.5. Welcoming the
I
Razorbacks
almost
into
went
town.
Arkansas. I almost went Arkansas.
So,
I'm not gonna lie.
I'll be honest, I almost did too, because I figure they may still be they still may be getting over the butt whooping that they got in Athens last Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
And if any of that is still in their head, Arkansas is a good enough offense to where it's going to be, they can score, but I'm hoping Texas's defense is stout enough where they're going to contain Arkansas's offense. And it's at home. So Texas, if they want to make anything left of the season, they have to win this game. They got to come out firing and they got to play well. And, they got to take it to Arkansas to show that last week was more of a fluke than, and it's just dependent, it was just because they were playing big bad Georgia that they got beat as bad as they did.
It's a really bad matchup for them, Georgia. That is. We're just a bad matchup for them. So
now you're talking about, this is another old rivalry from the Big 8 days, I think. Big 12, Big 8.
Before the Big 12, yeah.
Texas, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, all these teams that used to be in the other conferences before they joined the SEC. But
I think the old Southwest
from what I
Conference,
understand,
too.
it's a pretty bitter rivalry. It hadn't been played in a long time because up until last year, these two teams have been in, of course, different conferences, so they didn't play it yearly like they used to. But anyway, I just think Texas is going to come out with a chip on their shoulder and something to prove tomorrow, and I think they're going to take it out on Arkansas a little bit.
It's kind of where I was going. Yeah, it's kind of where I was going with that. I think Texas has certainly the better defense, without question, and they're better on special teams. They've got the better roster. Arkansas definitely has the offense to hang around, but not the defense to get stops. And I think Texas gets enough stops, and they're going to come out with enough pride after getting embarrassed last week. And I just think Arkansas may have given up on their season. They've now lost 8 in a row coming into this game. So that's not good. I mean, that's 3/4 of your season that you've just been just
trash,
going in the wrong direction.
They already fired their coach.
Yeah.
They're going to fire their interim coach.
This is one of those games where you could look up and any score that you could see tomorrow, I would believe it. Like
it could get ugly.
It could get really ugly, or it could be a barn burner, and it could just Texas has to fight for everything. So,
and that's you just don't know which version of Texas shows up.
If the version that played Oklahoma shows up, Texas covers comfortably, I think.
And I think we all agree because we all picked Texas to cover in this one.
Yeah, I just think they're going to have enough pride, and their only argument for the playoff will be smashing Arkansas and beating Texas A&M and being like, we only lost to Ohio State and Georgia, and then we slipped up against Florida in the swamp. And then they just say, look at our strength of record. That'll be their argument.
I don't think that Florida game was a slip up.
Well, I mean, it happened, so
it happened. But
yeah.
I mean, what's interesting to me looking back on Texas is every one of their losses so far this season came after a break, either a bye week or the first game of the season where they had the whole off season to prepare. That's just so strange to me that when you have extra time to prepare for the game, you know, they had all off season to prepare for Ohio State. And I mean, shoot, I think they gave them the best game Ohio State's played again, you know, the best opposition that they played
Really,
all season. I mean, it was only
Texas
what,
should have
like
won that game.
14 to 7 or something like that, if I remember right.
Yeah, 14-7,
So
and
that's probably
Texas
the
should
best
have won
game.
that game.
That's probably the best game Ohio State's had all season as far as
It
competition. And then you got an off week, you go and lay an egg with Florida, and then you have your second off week, and you come to Athens and you get boat raced because you get outscored 21-0 in the fourth quarter.
To me, that's the sign of not a great team. If you have extra time to prepare, or not a great staff, or not a great mentality or culture, because it's one of those. Because like you give Kirby a bye week, it's almost done. Like it's over. But I know people say, well, what about last year? Well, last year we had to replace our starting quarterback. So that you give him a little bit of a break. Yeah, and we were still in the game, and it was 2 plays that went Notre Dame's way, and if one of them goes ours, we still probably win the game. So just, you know, don't say that. But there's something off about Texas. I think they should be left out of the playoff, even if they do go 9-3. No matter how it looks these next 2 games. But if you're a Texas fan and if you're Texas and you're in that locker room, your only prayer is to win out, and you have to destroy Arkansas tomorrow. Style points matter.
And you have to upset Texas A&M.
And you got to upset Texas A&M.
And to their advantage, both of these games are at home for them.
Mm-hmm.
They're both home games, so that's going to help.
Yeah, come out at home and show out. That's what you got to do.
So, you know, I guess we're going horns up this week.
I can do horns up this week.
You know, last week it was this week. Let's go, baby.
I think it's always horns down, though, honestly.
So then that moves on to our next one. We got Vandy at home, favored by 9.5. It's such weird season to me, watching Vandy get favored in almost every game they played this season. But Vandy 9.5, bringing Kentucky to Nashville. I honestly think that this may be a sneaky, fun, entertaining game to watch because, believe it or not, Kentucky has sort of righted their ship a little bit. They're playing a lot better than what they were earlier in the season. And to be totally honest, I was this close to going the other way and taking the points in Kentucky because of that. But I just figure Vandy's offense, Kentucky's defense still is poor. Mm-hmm. So I think Vandy's offense with Diego is just going to pretty much get whatever they want. And when he gets rolling, that offense is so hard to stop. They're going to be able to pretty much name their number on the scoreboard. So
Diego's got to show up. He's been missing a little bit the last few games.
Well, this might be a get right game for him then.
And that's kind of what I'm banking on, is that, you know, it could be a trap game. Vandy looking ahead at Tennessee with playoffs on the line.
But they got to beat them first before they can worry about the playoffs being on the line.
Yeah, just like Texas, and well, even more so than Texas because they're in a better position. They still have to win out, you know. Mm-hmm. And it could be a trap game, but I think with their playoff lives on the line and Vandy's culture now under Clark Lee, with Diego Pavia at quarterback, just ends up being too much. And I think Vandy gets a turnover late and they pull away by a couple of scores, a couple of touchdowns here.
I can see that happening. And it's interesting that these two games, the Texas and the Vandy games, were not the only ones that we're all in agreement on this week. So, yeah, I can definitely see that. I just think there's going to be too much Pavia on display tomorrow.
Yeah, he's got to show back up and play how he played earlier in the season. But if he does that, they'll win easily, I think.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. It's just I don't know how it's going to be with Kentucky. Kentucky's been off and on all week or all year, so it's just which Kentucky are we going to get this game? Truthfully.
Yep.
Well, I think the biggest thing for Kentucky is I think they found their quarterback.
Yeah, that's true.
If they've got that, if you get that question answered on your team does a lot better usually. When you have that question answered and you're not going back and forth playing more than one, that saying if you got two quarterbacks, you got none. I think that holds true. Kentucky has found their guy. He's young and he's playing very well. And let's be honest, Vandy's defense isn't as stout as the other side of the ball for Vandy's offense is definitely the strength of their team. It's not their defense.
But they're good enough, I think.
Yeah, can Kentucky take advantage in some places? Yeah, maybe, but it's on the road, so that's a detriment for Kentucky. And Vandy's, like I said, Vandy's got a very, very good offense. So, I just think this matchup probably lends itself to being a Vandy win and pretty comfortably at that.
Yeah. We're probably all in agreement on that. So
then we go to Georgia Tech. The glorious, this might be, I guess, an elimination game in the ACC for who might be one of the teams as a representative in the ACC championship, the winner of this game. But Georgia Tech at home, favored by 2.5, welcoming Pittsburgh into Atlanta. How do you see this one going, Dogfather?
Yeah, I was just looking at you taking Pitt. I was very close to taking them again. But as we know, last week they got embarrassed by Notre Dame, and I put my faith in them, and so they failed me. They were my upset pick of the week, and that was nowhere.
I was right there with you.
That was nowhere close to being true. No. Maybe it happens this week, and maybe I'm wrong again, but I don't know. Georgia Tech runs the ball almost as good as Notre Dame in a lot of ways, and it's led by Haynes King, who's having a phenomenal season and is in the Heisman conversation. So Georgia Tech also has to keep their playoff hopes alive, and I think they end up pulling away at home in this one and win by 3 scores.
Well, this is basically a pick'em game. When you're talking 2.5 points, I mean,
it's very close line.
Game. Very, very. So Vegas obviously thinks the two teams are evenly matched, which I can see that.
Well, they're baiting you to bet Tech here because Pittsburgh got blasted last week. So that's what they want people to do. That's what this line says. But yeah.
What are your thoughts about the Tech game, Daddy Ice?
I almost picked this game as my upset pick. I really did. I'm just looking at the standings for the ACC conference. If Tech loses, that means Virginia, Pitt, and if SMU wins, which I don't know if they play tomorrow. No, they don't.
Yeah, SMU plays
Sorry,
Louisville.
they play Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
So there's still, regardless if Georgia Tech wins or loses, there's still going to be who's going to be that team that's going to face Georgia Tech or Virginia at this point, because both of those teams are 6-1. So if one of those loses a conference game, the other one's out, obviously. But if Georgia Tech loses tomorrow, that means Virginia is the number one, and then you'll have Pitt at number 2 because they beat Georgia Tech, and then Georgia Tech will be either third or fourth if SMU wins or not.
And then Miami.
And then if Miami wins, then it's just crazy in the ACC. Yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. I personally don't think they should have someone in the playoff because, or actually, like I said last week, it's either Georgia Tech or nobody at this point. If it's not Georgia Tech, don't put them in.
And so that's why you went with Tech, because you're like, they're the best chance to get in the playoff.
And this game, not next week, because it's going to be hard for Tech, and it's going to be hard for both teams. It's a neutral site for Georgia Tech, but this game solidifies their playoff.
Because they get into the ACC championship.
I think they pretty much will be in the ACC championship if they win this one, right?
I
think they're pretty much. I think
they'll be 7-1 after.
I'm not sure about
tomorrow.
The tiebreakers and all that, but I think it probably will.
I mean, right now they're number 1.
Here's what I was thinking on the Pitt. And Mike, I was right there with you last week. You brought up last week's game, Pitt, Notre Dame. We should have known when the coach came out before last week's game and said, I don't care if we get beat 100-0. The next 2 games are the ones that matter, because he's right. I mean, they were the ACC games. That was an out of conference game. It didn't matter whether they won that game or not.
Yeah, so, I wish I would have heard that sooner before I made my picks.
So I think his team took his lead on that.
Which that's crap. Kirby's like, I want to win every game.
Exactly. So, if we're going out there and competing, let's go compete and let's win.
If they count it, let's not get beat 100-0.
Right.
Come on.
So he definitely knows that his team to have a chance to play for an ACC championship and or possibly move on further than that, they need to win tomorrow. So I think they're going to come out focused and ready to play tomorrow. And I'm hoping whether they win or not, they keep it within a field goal, keep it close. I think they may end up winning outright, but time will tell. I just figured it was worth a shot to go with them again, because I think they might actually pull it off tomorrow.
And they
I went back and forth on this game mainly because, I mean, like Dogfather said, had a lot of faith last week in Pitt. It wasn't my upset pick, but definitely
all 3 of us picked Pitt last week.
Yeah, I definitely had higher hopes. But
yeah, Pitt kind of ruined my week last week. Thanks, Pitt.
I think we picked Pitt too because we just all can't stand Notre Dame that much too. So
I hate Notre Dame.
So
yeah,
that goes. Anytime Notre Dame's on the list, we usually pick against them unless we just know.
I would never pick them. I will never pick them.
So,
but also,
so hopefully it'll end up being a good game. It should be, since they're so close, in points, and they should be, evenly matched teams. So hopefully it'll be a good game, fun game to watch tomorrow.
I saw that they sold out their stadium for this game.
Yeah. No, the fans are
I
going to
thought
show
they
up.
were. I thought they were talking about next week's game in the men's. That one was the one that was sold out, not this week.
It's for Pitt.
Okay.
It's probably going to be sold out next week as well, but it's probably going to be 70% Georgia fans.
Yeah. Let's be realistic. About 80.
Anyway. So then we got the next game on the list, Florida in the Swamp, welcoming Tennessee, who is favored in the Swamp, nonetheless, where they historically don't play very well. I'll be honest.
Mm-hmm.
They're favored by 4.5 points over Florida.
But yeah, you still pick Tennessee.
Yeah, I did, because I think this year is going to be a different year for them. I think that Tennessee Florida's just too schizophrenic for me. you just don't know what you're going to get play to play, much less game to game from them.
Yeah, you don't.
So I find it hard to, pick them, because I don't know what they are, what they're going to do, who's going to show up, how they're going to play. I do know what Tennessee is, and I think Tennessee's a better team. Now, it's just whether or not they can get this bugaboo off their back from playing in the Swamp or not. And eventually you think they're going to do it. So I'm hoping that tomorrow's that day. That's what I'm just going with the gut feeling, that Tennessee gets that job done tomorrow and they finally get the bugaboo of playing in the Swamp out off their back.
Yeah. Well, I do think that Tennessee gets it done. However, Tennessee has lost 10 in a row in the Swamp, dating back to the George W. Bush administration when I was a kid.
No, that was before you.
The George W. Bush?
Yes.
This was like 08.
That was early 90s. He was president early 90s.
This is Bush Jr. And he was
okay, never mind. Okay, you're right.
This is like 06. I think they said it was the last time that Tennessee won
in the Swamp. Gotcha. Okay.
And they play there every other year. So it's been 4 administrations ago and almost my lifetime since they've won there.
So you're saying they're due? I'm
saying they're due. Florida is coming off a gritty performance against Ole Miss. So if Florida gives that kind of performance, I think they can hang around enough to cover.
But that's if. That's
you
don't know.
Yeah, Tennessee has the coach.
That's my whole point. You just don't know, so I can't. I mean,
Tennessee has the coach and quarterback advantage, and definitely the better offense. But Florida has the much better defense, and this is a night game. So, if I think Florida puts up a fight and gets a few stops and a turnover to keep it close, because Tennessee's quarterback is loose with the football.
And plus, I want to put a final nail in the Gator coffin. I think it'd be so fun to watch Tennessee go down there and exercise these demons that they have from playing in the Swamp. And
yeah, because then what does Florida have to hang on their hat on this season? One Superman type performance against Texas.
Yeah.
And that's it.
I mean, you know me, I can't stand the Gators. I can't stand Tennessee. But when they play each other right now, I think I'd rather see Tennessee win.
I'd rather them both lose, but my prediction is kind of the closest thing. Florida covers, Tennessee wins. So neither fan base is going to be happy.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah, you took Florida as well. I see Tiger Mike's on my side of this with Tennessee winning. Covering. So they have to win to cover.
Yeah. And then
Any
let's
thoughts?
get to Tiger Mike's team. Who
LSU.
he clearly
That's
has
on
no
Rouge.
faith
Favored by 23.5. I think that's what Matthew saw when we first revealed this. I think that's what he was looking at, is that even Tiger Mike took Western Kentucky.
It's crazy.
I'll tell you, my thoughts on this game summed up in one simple statement. LSU has a hard time scoring 24 points in a game. So how the heck are they going to cover a line of 24 points, 23.5 points?
They would have to shut him out 24-0.
So I'm rolling the dice. I'm taking Western Kentucky to play well enough to where they don't get beat by 4 touchdowns or 3 touchdowns, whatever it is.
I guess I got the only faith.
You're on
LSU. I'm curious now. I'm going to look it up. Y'all talk about this game for a sec.
Well, I can give my take then, since Matthew's just like, I'm all by myself.
I'm all by myself. I have some faith. So, I mean,
do you think they're going to shut him out and get 5 turnovers or something?
Not shut them out.
Even when they did that, they only scored 20 points.
That's true.
Yeah.
But lesser competition.
All right, so give us your take on it, Micah.
I just said, LSU's offense has been subpar all season, and I don't expect that to change as a big home favorite. Their defense is really good and will get stops and possibly force some turnovers. But like Arkansas, who LSU beat by 1 last week, LSU may have punted on the season already. Sorry, Tiger Mike. LSU wins ugly again, and Western Kentucky covers. And I don't think it's going to be particularly comfortable.
I think LSU is going to win the game. Don't get me wrong. I don't think they're going to win it by 24 points is what
it won't be easy. It's not going to be comfortable.
All right. LSU's offense this year, they beat Clemson 17-10. Then they beat Louisiana Tech 23-7. They beat Florida 20-10. That's the game we keep going back to all the time, where they got 5 interceptions in that game and still only scored 20 points from it. Then the one game where they actually showed out on offense, they beat Southeast Louisiana 56-10. 56-10. But that's the outlier, because then they lose to Ole Miss 24-19. They win against South Carolina 20-10. They lose to Vandy 31-24. They lose to Texas A&M 49-25. They lose to Alabama 20-9. Then last week they win against Arkansas 23-22. I just don't see how they are favored by 23.5 points. And, I don't see how they cover this game. I just don't. I mean, they can prove me wrong tomorrow. Maybe they have another 56-10 in them tomorrow. They might, but judging off the first, 8, 9, 10 games of this season, it doesn't look like
that's in the past. That's in the past.
Eventually,
something will click tomorrow. Something will click.
Is Garrett Nussmeier even playing, or is they on to the next guy still?
Probably on to the next. I would move on to the next guy.
I don't think it matters.
I think he's probably still hurt, but I mean, Lord, what a season for LSU! I mean, Lord, those Cajuns down there got to be hurting. They got to be steaming mad.
They wish they were Georgia fans.
But I just don't see how they're going to. And obviously, Tiger Mike's on board with this. He thinks LSU is going to win. I guarantee it. But he doesn't think they're going to win by 24 points.
He's more so taking it in a political way because of how things have happened.
He's boycotting his team right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to give him support.
I've been telling him he needs to switch to being a Georgia fan. He'll be a lot happier. I've been telling my Florida fan coworkers
Especially this
the same
season,
thing.
he would have been.
Oh yeah, I've been telling my Florida fan coworkers as well. Be like, look, you'll be happier by the end of the year if you just become a Georgia fan.
Yeah, because Georgia's peaking, getting hot at the right time. So I think we're getting ready to go on a run here, boys.
100%
I really
agree.
do.
Well, do we have our upset picks?
I do.
You're the one that's hot about this, Matthew. So start us off then with the upset pick.
All right.
Yes, sir. If either one of y'all pick the same game as me again, I'm going to scream.
Well, then
Give
go
me
first.
USC.
No.
Give me USC over Oregon.
What?
Nah.
USC
That's
goes
at
into
Oregon.
Eugene, goes to Eugene and says, "Stuck on it."
I don't. Yeah. They're not Indiana.
Wow, USC. He's going with the Trojans.
I feel like they're the better team.
No, they're not.
And
they're definitely not the better coach team.
Oregon almost lost to Iowa.
At Iowa in a snowstorm.
At Iowa.
Basically. In a snowstorm.
They're used to it.
No, they're not.
Yes,
they're used to rain, not snow.
Yeah, it was like sleet.
Okay. Well, USC Trojans go into Eugene, Oregon.
Trojan man.
Mm-hmm. And they go Hessing.
Okay.
Okay, Mike.
Oregon.
Papa D, go ahead.
I'm picking Kansas State to upset Utah tomorrow.
Okay, good. We've all got 3 different picks. That's not a bad one. I thought about that one. I really did. But I'm kind of glad I didn't because I'm tired of having the same ones.
Who'd you say again? I'm sorry.
Kansas State.
Cut out for me.
Over Utah.
So you say Kansas State eliminates Utah from the playoff.
There you go, baby. give me some chaos out in the Big 12.
So you think Kansas State has a chance to go to Utah better than USC has a better chance going to Eugene?
Yeah, because Utah isn't as good of a team as Oregon.
Exactly.
Oregon's got one of the best rushing attacks in the whole country. They probably are just going to run it down USC's
USC can't can't stop anybody.
Nope.
I learned that when I picked them against Notre Dame, and Notre Dame had a field day with them.
Yeah, I picked Notre Dame that day, and you saw what happened.
I mean, my Lord.
That was a couple of cans.
All right. What's your upset, Micah?
So mine is give me Maryland over Michigan tomorrow. Michigan's a 13.5-point favorite. They've got to go to College Park. They've struggled there before. It's a battle of freshman quarterbacks, and I think Maryland's got the better freshman quarterback. He's having the better season statistically than Bryce Underwood.
16.5-point favorite.
Dang. So we're both going big on that.
How much is Oregon favored by?
9.5.
9.5.
All these would be big upsets.
Tiger Mike, if you're out there listening, put in the chat your upset pick.
Or just
text me. He'd probably say something like Eastern Illinois over Alabama.
No, that'd be me.
Yeah,
No,
nobody's picking that.
knowing Tiger Mike, I feel like he would pick like TCU over
He
Houston.
might be picking
or
Western Kentucky over LSU.
Maybe that might be his upset pick right there.
So if you're out there listening in the chat or text it to us, let us know what your upset pick is before tomorrow.
Yeah, we're trying. We'll timestamp it definitely for you guys if he doesn't tell us before our next show or tonight. He's definitely probably not telling us.
Well, could you imagine if one or two or all three of these actually happen tomorrow? What kind of chaos Saturday this will be?
If all three of those happen, it opens up 2 more slots for the SEC, which means we get 6. So I'm kind of rooting for it, to be honest with you.
No, I'm rooting for it.
All right, so now, we've been talking about the website that we've found where it talks about the path to the SEC championship. Is that large enough for everybody to see?
I'd zoom in a little bit more.
Do it a little more? All right. Let's see.
That's probably.
Is that too much?
That's good.
Well, there's the current standings up at the top, right? Texas A&M 7-0. Georgia's finished their SEC regular season 7-1. Alabama 6-1. Ole Miss 6-1. So those are really the 4 teams that have a shot, right?
Hmm.
And on our previous
Arkansas has a chance.
Yeah, they pull out these last 2, they might squeak in.
Yeah, they might. Just might.
2 more weekends of games. Only 4 SEC games this week, and then 6 next week. But in our previous videos, we talked about really as far as it coming from a Georgia perspective, it came down to the last weekend, this Texas versus Texas A&M game, and the Auburn-Alabama game.
It's really that Auburn-Alabama game, to be honest, more so than the Texas.
Lee Corso
would
say, "My son, not so fast, my friend." There is a scenario. There is a scenario where Texas A&M wins, Alabama wins that last weekend, and Georgia still plays for the SEC championship game.
How?
You want me to show you?
All right, let's see it. Let's go. We've been going a long time tonight.
This is the cherry on top. This week we got to be Gators, and we got to be Wildcats. If Florida upsets Tennessee, if Kentucky upsets Vandy, and then next week
it's
Texas A&M wins, Alabama wins, calculate the standings. Boom.
Dang.
Texas A&M, of course, then will be undefeated in conference. So they're number 1, 8-0. 3-way tie for second, where we beat out Ole Miss and Alabama. Because of the conference opponent win percentage.
That's crazy that it would be Ole Miss would be next, and then
Alabama would be 4th in that scenario.
Yeah, see, it's not all head to head. That's what I've been trying to explain to people.
Well, it can't be when there's 3 teams tied because we don't all play each other. Ole Miss didn't play Alabama. We played both, but Ole Miss and Alabama didn't play this season, so it can't be head to head stuff. But so you go down the list of tiebreakers, and you get way down the list, and you get to these conference opponent win percentages, and we've played a tough schedule.
That's what I was about to say. We played a tougher schedule than they have, so that's what helps us.
And the people that we've played, I mean, just like I just said, we've played Ole Miss, we played Alabama, we played Texas, we played half the top 6 teams in this scenario,
and we've won all but one.
Helps us that we've only lost 1 in that case. Texas A&M is the exact opposite. If they lose, they're coming in 4th. Basically, that's the best they can hope for, almost, because They have only played
first or
the lower half until they play Texas. They've only played the lower half teams in the league. So if they get in a tie-breaking situation that's not head-to-head,
they're cooked.
That those percentages, those win percentages, killed their record, and they end up losing those tiebreakers. Mm-hmm. So I just thought that was interesting. We went on, thinking, okay, next week's what matters. We got to hope Alabama loses. We got to hope Texas A&M loses against Texas. No, this week, if Florida upsets Tennessee and Kentucky upsets Vandy, I know. I mean, it's not likely, but I'm just saying it is a possibility.
How does that help us, though?
Because of who all we played,
percentage?
these 4 teams, and which teams end up having better conference winning percentages.
Because Alabama played Tennessee, and Ole Miss also played Florida, and Ole Miss played Kentucky.
This tells you, if you go to the full tiebreaker, I mean, it tells you step by step. If you pull these in and you go to the full tiebreaker logic, see, all this has got to go through just to get us to number 2.
That's crazy.
And then just to get Ole Miss number 3.
Even more.
And then Alabama 4th.
Good gosh.
So if I hide all that, when you hide the full tiebreaker, it just tells you the final one that actually solidifies how we're above Alabama and Ole Miss based on the conference opponents' win percentage.
And we're above them considerably.
Yeah, our 48% win percentage for our conference opponents, as opposed to 37. We just barely beat Alabama. They're 46. And that's because of Florida upsetting Tennessee and Kentucky upsetting Vandy. Because Alabama played both Vandy and Tennessee, and
they beat them both.
But if Tennessee and Vandy both have another loss,
they'll bump
their conference. Alabama's conference win percentage goes down because 2 of the teams they've played have another loss.
Well, then right now it's got to be something like 50%.
So,
based on a couple of teams needing to lose again, that's crazy.
So, I mean, it can change depending on what actually happens. But see, even right now, I mean, no, you can't look at it right now. Right now, Texas A&M and Georgia will be playing, but nobody's finished besides us, right?
Yeah, you can't really.
Well, South Carolina's finished.
We're the leader in the clubhouse, so to speak, for the golf term. But
we're Scotty Scheffler.
But like I said, I just thought it was interesting to point out that little caveat. Cool. If the Gators win and Kentucky wins tomorrow, we got a pretty decent chance of getting into the SEC championship game, regardless of what happens with Texas and Alabama.
Well, go Gators and go Cats, I guess.
Yeah. It can be beneficial for us tomorrow. So you'll have something a little extra to watch those games tomorrow about, other than that they're on our list of pick-em games.
Still don't know that I want to go to the championship game, but that's a conversation for another.
Well, Kirby Smart disagrees with you wholeheartedly.
I know he does. He always wants to go and he always wants to win it. I get it. I think
it's just the thing that he said that I thought was interesting is he said it's harder and probably more rare to win an SEC championship than it is a national championship.
I'll give him that now because you have a 1 in 12 shot if you make the playoff. You only have a 1 in, you have a 1 in 16 shot of winning the SEC. So that's true. That's true.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. Sorry. Well, your mother just came into here. She knows we're still on, and she opened the door and she looked at me and she said, "I better not ever hear Micah say 'Go Gators' ever again."
I'm not really rooting for them because, like I just said, I
Hey,
think
it's in this case you get a pass because it helps the dogs, right?
yeah, if I wanted to, but I think the more advantageous thing for Georgia is to not go to Atlanta, get more rest, and get ready for the stretch run. That's what I think. But I mean, hey, if we've got to go,
I kind of
There's a
agree,
scenario.
but also we gotta have that momentum. You know, just look
We're
at
playing
how
good. Let's just keep our
Ohio
momentum
State
going.
did. How Ohio
Yeah.
State had that momentum all last year.
To
They
be
were
honest,
the
I wouldn't mind.
chilling.
Yeah, I'm kind of torn a little bit because I want to win
Hey.
the SEC because I think that's important. But if we win the SEC, we're going to be one of the top 4 teams,
and
so
then
we're
we're
going to
gonna
get a
get the
bye.
bye.
I almost don't want to buy.
That's what I'm saying.
I want to keep playing because we're playing so well.
That's
But
right.
as a caveat to playing well, you're going to win an SEC championship then, and you're going to get the bye. So that just comes with it. We just got to be ready to play our first game when it's time.
Well, we're hopefully not going to be replacing our starting quarterback. That's the other thing. You open yourself up to more injury by playing another game. So
Maybe so. It happened last year. You're right. That doesn't mean it's going to happen this year.
and if you have to play another game, that's the 17th game. So we would have to play 17 games to win a national championship. That's a lot of games. That's an NFL schedule.
No, if we take care of business tomorrow, we take care of business against Tech, we're going to be in playoff regardless. It's just a matter of which seed.
Yes.
So it's not that we have to play 17 games to win a national championship.
If we go to Atlanta, yes.
We just will because that's just another game along the road.
Right.
So anyway, good show, man. I think it was a good one.
Yeah, it was jam-packed. We did go a little long, so thank y'all for sticking with us. If you need to take breaks, come back and watch some different parts of it later. We're gonna cut it up and make some good clips out of it this week.
Not so fast, my friend.
But as always, I love doing this with you guys. Thanks for being on. Anyone out there, if you would share, please, with 5 of your friends. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And check us out at BTH Dogs on Instagram and TikTok. We are posting things there as well. Thank y'all. Enjoy one of the last regular season Saturdays that we have. And as always, go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs. And that is